Hi guys, and welcome back to the Black Consciousness Movement channel. Wow, we are actually growing. Honestly speaking, I have to thank you all for subscribing, sharing, liking, comment whenever you, because right now I'm telling you, technology is like, my God, social media is growing so fast that people don't really have time to do anything. So if you find somebody commenting or liking or even sharing, it's a blessing, right? And remember, I said we are not emphasizing on just growing. We are here to teach, right? And we are really succeeding. We are teaching our children how to be proud in their own skin, how to be proud of their hair, and all those things. And we are also teaching the difference between racism as opposed to like systematic racism, in the sense of like, when you are outside there and somebody call you the N-word, it's hurting. But what bothers most Black people is when you are being prevented from getting an opportunity or a job opportunity or whatever that is, in because the system is not allowing you. That's what bothers most Black people. So let's before we get any further, let's please subscribe, comment, and push that notification button so that every single time we have a new video, you are obviously being notified so that you don't miss anything on this amazing channel. So let's get started. When we say Black is beautiful, we are not comparing that beauty with other races. We are not saying Black is beautiful more than white, Black is beautiful more than brown. We are just teaching mainly that Black is beautiful. Okay guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna actually start with a little bit of what we talked about last week. I have talked about 20%, but I think, to be quite honest, I think it's 10%. So like I said, 90% of all humans are good, amazing people who just want to really enjoy life on earth. But 10% of those individuals actually have ulterior motives. They want to control every single other person on earth. So like I said, I think if you go back to our video, because I don't want to repeat everything, you will realize what I meant and what I actually was trying to say when I was saying that when you look at 10% of humans, Black and white, who are wicked, and I said, I emphasize on that 10% of white people who are very wicked are actually more wicked than the 10% of Black people who are also wicked in that sense. And 90%, because now I'm saying 90% and 10%. So 90% of the Black people, of the white people who are good, are actually way better in helping, conversation, and all that, in comparison to the 90% of the Black people who are good. However, having said that, obviously, there is, I'm saying it percentage wise, but obviously it doesn't mean that you wouldn't find an extreme Black person who's good and better than a white person. So I think you understand, when somebody's talking about percentage wise, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's, you know, like there's no changes or whatever. But now today I'm actually gonna talk about what's going on because of the 10%, and I'm gonna concentrate on the 10% of white people who are bad and who just want everything to go their way and still have that mentality of, and the reason I'm mentioning this percentage wise is because I want you to know that we are not lost yet. We still have very good people on earth. there's a lot of white people who are actually fighting against this mentality of white superiority and so on. So, okay, before I even go any further, I'm gonna put this video on. It's about, obviously, someone, a white dude, obviously talking about this narrative of just white, wanting to be superior and wanting to be in control and so on. And at the end, he said, why can we leave black people alone? And like I said, I want to emphasize that obviously I'm with that guy for sure, what he's saying. And he is referring to, obviously, white people who, and me putting that video there is just to show you that what he's talking about when he's talking about some white people doing that, it is true. And those are the 10% of white people who actually want that. What that guy is saying is true, but for me, it's applicable to that 10% of white people who do that. And that's why I'm saying that we can write every single other person off, because there is some good humans. There is some, even when you look at Steve Biko, there's this guy who helped him. It was a white guy. I don't remember his name. I think I don't know. I don't remember his name at the top of my head. But obviously I will remember my hero, Steve Biko. But what I'm trying to say is, don't write them off. Let's watch the video quickly and then let's come back to continue.
Why is it that white folks support anti-blackness, racism, and white supremacist culture in so many goddamn fucking ways? Why is it that we support it through our silence, our defensiveness, our denial, that code of silence? Let's not talk about it. Let's ignore it. All that fucking gymnastics, that defensiveness, the fucking anger, the passive aggressiveness, the stereotyping, the overt, covert racist, all the shit that we do, the gaslighting, all that fucking shit that we do as white people. Why can't we just leave black people the fuck alone? Why? Because we were taught that shit. It's our culture. White supremacist culture is American culture. It's European culture. We see ourselves as overseers. We ourselves as entitled to control and judge black people. White Americans wanted, back in the day, we demanded black people be segregated, right? So we segregated black people okay, great. We're going to make our own shit. They started doing great. What did we do? We fucking burned their communities down to the ground. And you gotta sit in your fucking silence? You ought to be ashamed of yourself for not giving a fuck. Every single one of you that can't talk about it, that spews fucking racist narratives, stereotypes, denial, gaslight. That's not their reality. Telling black people what the fuck they should think, feel, do, be. Fuck you. Do better. Reject your fucking training, your indoctrination. Question your own goddamn morality racially for once in your fucking life. I'm tired. I'm tired of what my people have done, what they continue to do. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm tired of seeing people suffer. I'm tired of the fucking inequality. And you ought to give a fuck too.
Okay, I'm back. Can you see how he's really going off? Like, leave. I don't even want to mention the words that he's saying because they are a little bit out of my vocabulary. But I think you can see the anger, and he is white. And can you see what I mean? He is white. Obviously, that person is probably part of the 90% white people whom I was referring to when I say they are very good human. They just want to live their life. And then you have this 10% who wants to control the narrative of everybody else. And then so it is going to kind of control the narrative of the other people, and it is going to influence the way we look at people. For example, when you look at that, when you look at what's going on in the world, you're gonna want to hate a certain race because of what they're doing, only to realize that it's only 10% of this race who actually want to have this narrative. Can you see how, and the politicians are actually using that against us? Just like, as I said before, the men versus women, the black versus white, the whatever versus what, it's always something against another thing, and that's what they are using, right? And that's why I'm teaching on this channel, so that we know the difference, so that we know that there is certain people that just want to control the narrative, and it's for their own benefit. It's not as if like, oh no, it's for everybody. They want us to fight so that while we are concentrating on that fight, they can actually go ahead and get away with murder, right? Anyway, so now this is the other thing that I wanted to share. Because we're talking about different things on a specific group that I'm part of. And we were talking about how, so we're talking about, what's going on in Africa. There's a lot of things going on in Africa right now. And also we're talking about how, we also think our leaders are corrupt. We are not saying, we're not apologetic about our leaders being corrupt, okay? We know that. But the Western world have a lot more corrupt leaders than ours, honestly speaking. And this is the other thing that I was also explaining. The other thing is also, and I'm going to put a video of Dr. Arikana to explain exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a case of like somebody coming to your house, murder your parents, and then maybe there's the children are, left, and then they tell you that you have to do this in order to do this, and this is in your own place, like your own house, right? And then you say that, oh no, I'm not gonna do that, or you have to go against your brother in order for them to do whatever, and then you say, no, I'm not gonna go against that, and then when you refuse that you're not going to do that, they actually killed your brother just in front of you. And now you are left to decide whether you're going to anyway die like your brother, or you're going to have to do what they are saying. And honestly speaking, that example couldn't have been further from where our leaders are. And I'm not saying that some of them are not doing things. Obviously, later on it becomes like, okay, doing it for selfish reason. But I can tell you that most of our leaders, even the ones that want to do the right thing, I'm telling you, they are being forced. They are being really, really forced into things that they don't want to do. But it's like they have no choice. And like I said, I'm going to put Dr. Arikana's video so that she explained what France did to some other countries because they refused to be under them. And then their actions make the other countries not to do, just like the example of the siblings being killed in front of you and you not having a choice, then having to comply with, the nonsensical whatever agenda they have, or you know what I mean. So let's look to Dr. Arikana and then we can come back again.
Between 1958 and 1961, France did something absolutely horrible. France made the Francophone African countries, and I don't even want to use that terminology, but I only use it for the purposes of conversation. The 14 countries which were formally, but still colonized by the French, they were forced to sign a document that they called the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. You heard me. The Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. If you want your independence, you must sign this. Guinea, Secretary said absolutely not. Mali said absolutely not. France, pack your bags and go on back home. France could not believe it. Could not understand that an African country, these monkeys, do not want to be affiliated to France. They said, we will show you. So history tells us France went into those two countries, took everything that they thought they had brought to those two countries, including the last teaspoon and chair, proceeded to pour concrete into the sewage pipes, completely devastating the two economies. The then newly appointed president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, in his efforts to rescue these two economies, created the first ever union of any African states, Ghana, Guinea, and Mali. But what that did was it made the other African countries realize that if they go against France, this was the fate that was waiting them. So what do? Wait the paper. And they signed. What did the pact say? One. The pact said, you monkeys, you don't know how to manage your money. So you shall deposit 85% of your bank reserves with the French Central Bank under the control of the French Minister of Finance. And that France is going to take your deposits from the individual countries, pull them together, invest them in the French stock market under the French name. And you, monkeys, you may or may not know the returns. Latest figures are showing this is still going on since 1958. France today is collecting out of Africa over $500 billion before investing. And when they finish investing this money, for every 14 billion out of Africa, they're recognizing over 300 billion. Now do the math. So when it's actually said and done, France is taking out of Africa trillions of dollars every year, and we, the poor Africans, are gladly giving it to France. And the same France has the audacity to look at us and call us poor people.
The French and they just have a chokehold on the African continent, because for leaders who refuse to abide to French rules, guess what happened to them? They were ousted in military coups by people who were given arms and money and linked to the French. That's exactly what happened to the president of Guinea in the long run. That's exactly what happened to the president of Togo in the long run. What does this statistics say? In fact, during the last 50 years, a total of 67 coups happened in 26 African countries. 16 of the 26 African countries are ex-French colonies, which means 61% of coups happened in Francophone Africa.
I think you can see what Dr. Arikana is trying to explain, which is something that has been happening for years. Most people don't know that this is what's going on with our African leaders, how they are being put on their knees, literally, to just have to do whatever this Western world is putting out there for them to do against their own brothers even. And then obviously the narrative starts that, oh no, African leaders can be trusted, they are corrupt and all that. But I mean, I think you've listened to what Dr. Arikana says, that yes, they are, and they are stealing this how much, but guess who's stealing more, right? Another thing that I wanted to say, and this is kind of like on a very positive note, there's 3 countries that are uniting right now. I think it's Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Not Nigeria, please. Most people think when somebody say Niger, it's Nigeria. Not Nigeria. It's the country literally called Niger. I actually wasn't aware about, I used to also think it's Nigeria. Anyway, but I wanted to show this video that is going viral almost about this American going on just by realizing that, I mean, this is the thing. You apparently want to help me, right? And you know what? I'm going to actually put this out even in the normal life. Have you been with people that are comfortable helping you, but as soon as you are comfortable, God has blessed you, you are okay, it's almost that they don't want to stop helping you. They are frustrated by you being able to do things on your own. And when you find somebody like that, they are actually not helping you. That is a slave mentality. They actually want to enslave you. They want you to depend on them. And this is exactly what I found, what I saw from this, from the action of this young man, obviously talking on behalf of the divided states, as I usually say Dr. Mumbi call it. Is it the United States or is it the divided states? Anyway, I want you to check this video, because these countries are saying that we don't need your help. It's okay. You helped us, okay? We understand that you have been trying to help us, apparently, right? Organizing coup in our own country, and that's the kind of help you're talking about. But now we don't want your help. It's okay. We want China and Russia to help us. Why are you so concerned? I want you to check this video and see what you think about it, like seriously.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to warn this body of the deteriorating conditions in the African country of Niger and to give rise to the concern of service members and contractors. More than 1,000 of them right now are functionally being held hostage in Niger. They are being used as pawns during a negotiation that has left America at the bended knee of third world criminals and thugs as our troops seek medicine and fresh water and troop rotations. How did we get here with more than 1,100 Americans endangered right now in Niger? Well, it started back in March of 2023. Secretary of State Antony Blinken went to Niger and proclaimed that it was a model of resilience, a platform for great democracy. It would be where America would execute its Africa strategy. 1 year later, almost to the day, there was a coup in Niger. And guess who overthrew the government that we said was the great model of resilience? People we trained. We trained the coup leaders to go throw out the democratically elected government of Niger. And I know this will surprise you, but after that occurs, they say they want our bases that U.S. taxpayers have poured more than $1 billion into gone. They want our service members gone.
So when you look at that video, you can see that the guy is furious. The guy is serious, honestly speaking. And obviously he's speaking on behalf of the divided states, or is it the United States? They are so divided right now, right? Anyway, so can you see? The whole thing is that, I don't know, even in general, in like a general kind of like in life, I don't know, I have seen people who are eager to help you with everything. They will put resources in your hands and so on, and there's nothing wrong with it. But the problem is that when it comes to me being able to take care of myself, these people, this type of people, there's this type that gets angry. They want to still help you. And then it becomes like, no, you don't really want to help me. You actually want to enslave me. You want me to depend on you. You want to maybe create a name that you are my helper, like you are my savior. And I think this is exactly what's going on with the divided states. Because Niger doesn't want your help anymore. Take your soldiers. They don't want it. It's not by force. Why are you wanting to help them when they don't want your help anymore? It means there's something behind it. And I think in plain English, you can hear what this guy is saying. And this is what I was saying. When they organize a coup against, one part of the brotherhood to have a coup against one part of the brotherhood where they actually invest money. They invest money so that they can still have control over that person that they give money to. It's not to help. It's to paralyze the continent like they have been. And that's why I say, when somebody say, oh no, Jehovah, you say you guys are doing fine, why are you here? I'm like, who went to who first? Why are you in our countries? You're saying, oh no, this is your country, we shouldn't be here. Then everybody should stay where they belong, right? Is that what we mean, right? But then could we say, bring our things, bring all our resources that you took from us? So can you see where it's going? But this is what I'm talking about when I say that. Then there's this where, like they will say that, oh no, please don't waste money. That $10 can actually take care of 10 families in India. Oh no, don't waste water. Be careful because, there's people in Africa who doesn't have water. And I'm like, which part of Africa doesn't have water? Come on, guys. Let's be real, okay? Anyway, guys, we are coming to the end of this. I just want to say, please subscribe, like and comment, and don't forget to push that notification button so that every time we load a new video, you will be notified as soon as possible, okay? Take care, and from me, Jehovah, bye. Love you all.
Who don't look down